Hello my dear friends, my name is Shashi Walia and I welcome you all on my YouTube channel Curious Physics. So today I am going to discuss the last part of this particular chapter, electrostatic potential and capacitance, and in today's lecture we are going to discuss the capacitor and capacitance. Okay, so in this particular lecture we will discuss everything related to the capacitor and then move on to basically to the examples and the exercise part of the NCERT. Okay, so without wasting any time I am going to start capacitor and capacitance. Okay, so capacitor basically is the and you can say electric device used to store charge at a particular potential difference, potential difference. This is basically the basic definition of capacitor. Okay, this is the device. Okay, and next thing is how the capacitors can be created and what is capacitance we are going to discuss next. Let's say we have two conductors. Let's say this is conductor 1 and this is conductor 2. Let's say this is positive Q charge is distributed on this and it's Q. Let's say negative Q charge is distributed on this particular second conductor, and first conductor is at potential V1 having and is at V2 due to this particular charge distribution. So this particular, for example, if I change the charge at that on the surfaces, then the potential will automatically change, and the potential difference, let's say potential difference is V is V1 minus V2. V is the potential difference between conductor 1 and conductor 2, and let's say the conductor 1 is at higher potential. Okay, are you able to understand my point? So in this particular condition, we have defined a particular property of this system of these two conductors, that is capacitance. And capacitance is equal to charge divided by potential difference. Here V is the potential difference, as also we know that if there is a potential difference there is a electric field. There is also a electric field, and electric field is moving from higher potential to lower potential, higher potential to lower potential. So there is also electric field also present in this system. Okay, so the basic capacitance is Q by V, and in this Q by V, yes, capacitance is the ratio of Q by V, but remember my point, my dear students, this particular capacitance is independent of Q and V, mean to say that charge and potential, and this particular C is only depends upon shape and nature of the material. Yes, ratio will be equal to capacitance, but the exact capacitance is independent of Q and V. Always remember my point, this is very important. In the same way, we will discuss resistance and inductor in our later chapters, but for that two particular electric devices also independent of the sum ratio, only depends upon the shape and nature of the material. This is basically capacitance. The units of capacitance are farad, or you can say F. And in your chapter some are the other smaller units are micro, pico, nano. Okay, but the main SI units are farad. Okay, if this particular potential difference can store a charge capital Q in this particular system, then this is known as capacitance is defined by Q by V. Q by V. Then another particular thing we have discussed here, that is basically that is dielectric strength. That is dielectric strength. Dielectric strength. Dielectric strength is nothing but, it is the maximum value of electric field. It is the maximum value of electric field that can be, that it is the electric field, the maximum value of electric field that can be, that can be present without leakage of charge, or a capacitor can withhold the maximum value of electric field. Why electric field? If there is a potential, you can say, if you want to increase the capacity, for example, from this ratio you can understand, if you want to increase the capacity of this particular system, then you have to increase the value of charge. If you increase the value of charge, there will be a limit, because if you increase the value of charge or reduce, or if you increase the value of charge, there will be a electric field. And by increasing charge, you will increase the electric field. And if you increase the electric field, it can basically, you can say, it can basically break the medium. The medium can discharge, or can say the charge present in the medium between these two conductors can break down by applying the electric field. So we can say that particular medium have a particular value with which it can withhold, or it can you can say that particular material can face that particular electric value. If the electric field we increase up above a particular level, then medium can be, you can say, medium can be break, it can be converted into ions. So the capacitor, or you can say the maximum value of charge for particular conductors are fixed. If you want to increase that particular value of charge above a particular level, then the medium can break down. Then the breakdown of medium can take place. This is basically the dielectric strength. For air, the dielectric strength is 3 into 10 raised to power 6 volt per meter. For air, the dielectric strength is equal to 3 into 10 raised to power volt per meter. I think I am able to understand my point. Dielectric strength is we cannot increase the value of electric field above a particular level. This is basically the basic idea of capacitor, capacitance. Okay, and the capacitance only depends upon the ratio, only depends upon the basically the properties of material, and also the shape and how this particular material is made. Okay, next topic is the parallel plate capacitor. The main type of capacitor, the capacitors are of so many types, for example cylindrical, spherical, but in your syllabus only parallel plate capacitor is given. For example, this parallel plate capacitor can be written like this: two plate, the parallel plate capacitor. This plate have the, for example, have the positive charge, and this plate has the negative charge. Okay, and the distance between the plates, distance between the plates is d, and area of the plates, A is the area of the plates, area of the A is the area of the plates. Okay, now if this is the positive charge and this is negative charge, then, and one more thing, d square is very less than A. This particular assumption means the dimensions of particular these plates, dimensions of plates are very large as compared to distance between or gap between the plates. And why we are doing this? Because if this assumption is made, then we can use the electric field at the formula of electric field at a particular point due to a infinite plate, which was sigma by 2 epsilon naught, which we have discussed in the applications of Gauss law. Okay, so here electric field, the direction of electric field is from positive to negative direction. This will be the electric field. Okay, my dear friends, this will be the direction of electric field, and here outside this capacitor electric field will be 0. Okay, why? Because the positive from is outside the place, the electric field direction of positive towards positive and away from positive and toward negative, it will cancel each out, and this is the same as we have discussed the last example of the last question of your exercise book of the basically previous chapter, the first chapter, the same question. And at the center you will get, or between these two plates you will get, the electric field is equal to sigma by epsilon naught. Why? Because due to this positive charge, the net electric field will be 2 epsilon naught plus sigma by 2 epsilon naught. This is equal to sigma by epsilon naught. This particular sigma by 2 epsilon naught due to positive charge, and this sigma by 2 epsilon naught due to negative charge, and the direction is same. So these are basically, we have simply added these two particular electric fields. So at center, remember my point, at this the space between two particular parallel plates capacitor, the electric field will be sigma by epsilon naught. This is plus q charge and this is minus q charge. Okay, and now if you know the value of electric field, then the potential will be E into d. D is the distance between the plates, so sigma d divided by epsilon naught. This is the potential difference between these two particular plates. And now according to the parallel plate capacitor, the capacity or capacitance, you can say capacitance is equal to q by v. Q is the charge and sigma, q is the charge and sigma is the charge density. So you can say that charge density means charge by area into d epsilon naught. Q and Q will cut each other and you will get epsilon naught A by D. So we can say that the capacitance is independent of the ratio of Q and V. Yes, we have defined, or you can say that we have find this value by Q by V, but the result, it is only basically the property of material and the dimensions of that particular capacitor, epsilon naught A by D. You have to remember this particular formula for this particular topic, epsilon naught A by D. Are you able to understand my point? This is the parallel plate capacitor. And in this particular parallel plate capacitor, the basic assumption is the dimensions of particular plates are very large as compared to the distance between the plates. The distance between the plates. Are you able to understand my point? Next is, so this formula always in your mind, the capacitance of a capacitor is epsilon naught A by D. Epsilon naught A is the permittivity of free space, A is area, and D is the distance between or a gap between the plates. This is the basic formula. Okay. Next is effects of dielectric on capacitance. Effects of dielectric on capacitance. And as in the last section before the starting the topic of capacitor, we have discussed what are dielectrics. If these particular dielectrics are basically placed in an external electric field, then the induced electric field is not equal to the external electric field, or you can say that the electric field inside this particular dielectric is not equal to 0. By following that particular concept, let's say we have introduced a dielectric of same width that is equal to the gap of that particular parallel plate capacitor, then we will see the capacity or capacitance will increase or decrease. Let's say this is the parallel plate capacitor, this is the parallel plate capacitor, this is positive charge, you can say, and here is negative charge, and charge is, you can say, here is positive Q and here is negative Q. Okay. And if there is no dielectric, then the value of electric field will be, we know that sigma by epsilon naught inside these particular plates. We have just discussed this particular point. Now if we introduced a dielectric, introduced a dielectric, let's say of same width D, then this let's say initial electric field wire E naught. Now this particular induced electric field will be equal to, less than this particular, the initial electric field without the dielectric. Let's say that particular sigma minus, you can see initial sigma naught, then sigma naught minus sigma divided by epsilon naught. This is the value of electric field when dielectric was introduced. Because inside the dielectric net electric field will not be 0 due to its properties. Are you able to understand my point? If this, let's assume this particular dielectric is a linear dielectric, then this particular electric field is reduced, or you can say is directly proportional to the external electric field. Let this E is equal to E naught by K. How we can you can say that how we have used this particular property. Let's say this particular dielectric is a linear dielectric, then this electric field is, you can say, initial by K, then you can say, then easily, if electric field now net is E naught by K, and this particular K, you can say this particular K is the dielectric constant, this constant, and this particular dielectric constant is also the ratio of permittivity of medium divided by permittivity of free space, or you can say vacuum. Then if this is E net, then the potential will be equal to E naught by K into D, then easily we can say that what will be the capacitance will be equal to charge by V E naught by K into D, and the value of E naught will be, you already know that, sigma by epsilon naught, E naught by K, and value of, we have to, E naught is sigma by epsilon naught into K, and you can say D, and sigma can be Q by A, then value will be K epsilon naught A by D. In simple words, you can say that we have derived this formula with the help of so many assumptions, but for your basic information or basic understanding, if we introduced an particular dielectric between the plates of parallel plate capacitor, then its capacity will be increased by a factor K. Capacity will be increased by a factor K, and that particular factor is dielectric constant. Dielectric constant. I think this particular derivations is not your syllabus, but yes, for basic understanding, you know this particular thing. If C naught, K epsilon naught, let C naught is the initial capacitance, then without dielectric, then this formula you can say that capacity will increase if you introduce a particular dielectric in this particular, because the electric field is reduces, and electric field is reduces, then electric field reduces means you can use higher electric field, because you can say the reduce the gap between the dielectric strength and that particular, if you reduce the electric field. But the basic concept is this particular capacitance is increased by a factor C naught, I hope you are able to understand my point. Okay, the basic concept is this. Next, you can relate a slab of material of dielectric constant K has the same area as the plates of the parallel plate capacitor, but has a thickness 3 by 4 D, where D is the separation of the plates. How is the capacitance changed when the slab is inserted between the plates? The question is, initial condition is, we have a parallel plate capacitor, and total distance between plates is D. Now this particular, and the initial capacitance, and how is the initial capacitance? You know that we will get epsilon naught A by D. Now you have to change the you have to find the value of new capacitance if you introduce the, and the remaining terms are same. Let's say the 3 by plates K constant, this particular, let's say, and E naught, let's say E naught is the initial electric field, which is sigma by epsilon naught. We know that. Let's say this particular 3 by 4D, as dielectric constant K, and there's simple remaining D, let the simple D by 4, there is no dielectric. Okay, are you able to understand my point? Then for this system, let's say electric field is same, E naught, but here the electric field will change, and you know that for this electric field will be E naught by K. Here the potential will be for this, simply we know that here the potential will be, electric field into D, so potential will be E naught into D by 4, and here the potential will be E naught by K and 3 by 4 D. 3 by 4 D. Are you able to understand my point? Then this is the basic potential of these points. Then what will be the net potential? What will be the net potential? And the net potential will be, let's say potential will be E naught into D by 4 plus E naught by K into you can say 3 by 4 into D. So E naught is common, and you can say here the value will be, potential will be, LCM is 4K, LCM is 4K. So here you can write D is also common here, D is also you can take common, then LCM is 4, then you can say D into K, D into K plus 4K, you can say 3, you can say 4K, then simple 3 into D, 3 into D is the, this is the potential, and this is the potential. Then you can find the electric field. This is the potential, then you will find the electric field. You can find the capacitance. Capacitance will be C naught is equal to you can say charge divided by this particular potential, then D E naught dk plus 3d divided by 4k, dk plus 3d divided by 4k, and okay, now you can put the value of epsilon naught. Also you can put the value of E. Q is equal to sigma into A, you know that. D is D, value of E naught will be sigma by epsilon naught, and remaining will be D plus 3 dk plus 3d divided by 4k. Then sigma and sigma will cut each other, then 4k, then you can say that epsilon naught A by D, then this 4k will go up, and this particular, then the value will be 4k divided by k plus 3. This t will also come out. Yes, d we have, yes, d will come out. Yeah, initially taken this, then this value will be 4k divided by k plus 3, and epsilon naught A by D, epsilon naught A by D, and this epsilon naught A by D is initial capacity. Then we will get 4k k plus 3 into epsilon naught, or simply you can say initial capacity. Simply this question is try to make you understand the capacity of the system is increased by 4k divided by k plus 3 factor, increased by 4k divided by k plus 3 factor. We have already taken d out, so that's why I have removed this d from here. I have already removed this d from here. I hope I am able to understand my point. This is pure calculations. You can easily solve this. Next is basically the combination of capacitors. So combination of capacitors are of two types. One is series combination and parallel combination. First one is series combination. Series combination means when the capacitors are arranged in series manner. So this particular capacitor, this is positive. This is one capacitor. This is second capacitor, and we can use this. And this particular combination is, let's say, connected to a battery, or you can say energy source. In series combination, the charge remain same. This is plus positive, this is minus q, this is positive, this is minus q. This is the charge on the capacitor. And we have to, let's say C1 is the capacity of this first capacitor and C2 is the capacity of this second capacitor. So we have to find the combined capacity or capacitance of this particular system. If in series potential, this is V1 is the potential for capacitor 1 and V2 is the capacitor potential across the capacitor 2. So here the total V is equal to V1 plus V2. V1 is equal to V2, and this particular V is the sole reason behind the moving of charge, or you can say the charges across that particular capacitors. And let this V is equal to C equivalent, you can say Q is the charge, Q is the total charge. You can say this V can be written as charge is moving across divided by C equivalent, because we know the relation C is equal to Q by V, and here charge is same, C1, C2. This is the simple concept. Then this will cut each other and you will get, in case of series combination, 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2. This is the condition for series combination in the the answer of series combination of these capacitors. You can say that if you add the n number of capacitors in series, then you will get 1 by C equivalent is equal to 1 by C1, so 1 by C2 and so on, 1 by Cn. This is the basic answer of your when the capacitors are arranged in series. Next is when the capacitors are arranged in parallel. Parallel means, this is C1, capacity C1, and this capacitor is C2. This kind of situation or arrangement, you can say that this is the parallel combination. And in parallel combination, there is a power supply. This is not a capacitor, this is a power supply V. So in parallel combination, the potential will remain same, because in this question you can say that C1 is also connected to V and C2 is also connected to V. Okay, so here we can write that C1 have a Q1 charge and C2 has Q2 charge. So remember these particular basic points. In series combination, the charge remains same, but in parallel combination, charge will not remain same. In series combination, potential is difference across the capacitors, but in parallel combination, potential difference is equal or same across the capacitors. Are you able to understand my point? So here you can say that the total charge is moving across this, because if the Q charge is moving, then Q1 is going to first capacitor and Q2 goes to second capacitor, then Q is equal to Q1 plus Q2. Q is equal to Q1 plus Q2. So simply you can write Q1 is equal to C1 dot V plus C2 dot V, and here the C equivalent into V. So V will cut each other, and in parallel combination, the parallel combination is the capacity is C1 plus, your capacitance is C1 plus C2. C equivalent is equal to C1 plus C2. This is the basic idea behind the parallel combination. So remember these two. Another point you can add, in parallel combination, the capacitance of the arrangement or circuit will increase, but in case of series combination, it will decrease. It will decrease. In series combination, the potential across the each capacitor is not equal, but the charge is same. But in case of this particular parallel, potential is same and charge is different. Okay, just not just focus on this formula, but also try to focus on what will be the conditions, because that kind of condition or situations or can be asked in your exams. Are you able to getting my point? Are you able to getting my point? So next is this particular question. A network of a 410 microfarad capacitor is connected to a 500 volt supply as shown in fig. The equivalent capacitance of the network. In this case, you can say that C1, let's say this C2 and C4, this is C3, all are in series. All are in series. If the capacitors are in series, then if we want to find the C equivalent of these three capacitors, then you can send 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2 and 1 by C3, and C equivalent will come out to be 10 by 3 microfarad. Mean to say that this system can be reduced like this. This system can be reduced like this. Here is a capacitor of 10 by 3 microfarad is parallel to this, parallel to this another 10 microfarad capacitor. 10 microfarad capacitor. Are you able to getting my point? Now these particular capacitors are in series, then the C equivalent for whole system will be 10 by 3 plus 10, because these are in parallel, and you will get 40 by 3 microfarad. This is the net answer. This C equivalent for series combination. The C1, C2 and C3 are in series, and last one is these three series are parallel to this fourth one, C4. That's why answer is 40 by 3 microfarad. Are you able to getting my point? Are you able to getting my point? So second point, the charge on each capacitor. Now you have to find the charge on each capacitor. Here, this particular, now this combination, above combination is parallel to this combination. So here the potential will be 500 volt C4, and in series combination, if the charges are same, then particular and the capacity is also same, then this 500 is equal to 500, you can say V1 here, V2 here and V3 here. Charge and capacity is same, so you can say that V1 is equal to V2 is equal to V3. So here the 3V you can say is equal to 500, and potential across each capacitor in the series combination is 500 by 3. 500 by 3. So this capacitor has potential 500 by 3. This also has 500 by 3, and this also has 500 by 3. Are you able to getting my point? So the charge across in this C1, C2 and C3 will be same. So charge across, let's Q1, Q2 and Q3 is the charge across C1, C2, C3, and that will be equal to potential into you can say potential into capacity. I think potential into capacity. We know that the charge is equal to C into V. So this is the potential across each resistor, and C is, you know that it's 10 microfarad. 10 into 10 raised to power minus 6. So you will get your answer, and that answer will be I think 1.7 into 10 raised to power minus 3, 1.7 into 10 raised to power minus 3 coulomb. And for second case, what will be the charge across the fourth capacitor? Here the potential will be 500, and this particular capacity is 10 into 10 raised to power minus 6 is equal to 5 into 10 raised to power minus 3 coulomb. Here the charge across the fourth capacitor will be 5 into 10 raised to power minus 3 coulomb. Are you able to understand my point? This is the basic you have to know. We have just used the basic information just to solve this question. In series and parallel combination, you should know all the points, not just the formula C is equal to 1 by C1 or like that. You have to all the points. In series combination, potential will be different and charge will be same. In case of parallel combination, potential is same and charge will be different. Okay, this is the basic condition. Next is energy stored in a capacitor. Energy stored, and in case of electrostatics, if the system is not moving, then the energy will store in the form of potential energy. In the form of potential energy, we have discussed in so many times. Let's say a capacitor. This is a capacitor, and this is, for example, its final condition, minus Q and plus Q charge, and this is positive and this is negative. Here the basic idea, and the potential energy is equal to the amount of work done, to produce this system by an external force. So let's consider an intermediate situation. Let's here charge is Q dash, positive Q dash, and here charge is minus Q dash. Let's this particular charge is, and the intermediate electric field direction will be this electric field direction from positive to negative, and let's say this small dq charge is moving from this. If you want to make this system, this particular charge is moving from this particular point to here, that will increase the positive charge, and here the same value will be there. This is the intermediate condition. Then the small amount of work done to move a charge from this particular point to here will be, and here let's say the capacity is C. Then this amount of work done will be potential difference into this small charge, and you can say that potential in this intermediate condition will be Q by C, Q dash by C. Okay, and to find the amount of work done, you have to integrate. C is common, and total charge is 0 to positive Q, or you can say simple Q, and 1 by C, and Q dash into dq, you can say that, and after integrating you will get Q square divided by 2C. Simply upper limit and after applying upper limit and lower limit, this is not minus, this is just charge. This is 0 to Q. Are you able to understand my point? And this can also, Q is CV, C square V square divided by 2C. This is also half CV square. So this is the amount of work done. And this work done is stored in the form of electrostatic energy. So this is also equal to E. These two formulas always should be in your mind, Q square by 2C and half CV square for a capacitor. The derivation, no one will going to ask this derivation, but how this particular point we have reached, then Q square by 2C and half CV square. Are you able to understand my point? You can also, E is equal to Q square by 2C. If sigma is the charge density, then Q square can be, you can write Q square is equal to, you can say Q square is equal to sigma square into A square, sigma square into A square. Then charge 2c can be written at C epsilon naught A divided by D, can be written as epsilon naught A divided by D. Now you can also area, one area and area will cut each other, then you can also write sigma square into A divided by 2 sigma square A, and this is now sigma A and D will go, this is epsilon naught, this is sigma square. Now you can multiply with epsilon naught and 1 by 2 multiply with epsilon naught, sigma square and epsilon naught square, epsilon naught A into D. Sigma by epsilon naught is electric field, and you can write 1 by 2 epsilon naught E square into volume. A into D is the volume, A into D is equal to volume, and for this you can also write in this case energy per unit. This is electric field, this is not energy, this is electric field, this is electric field. So energy per unit volume is energy density, so here you can also write, add one page, so is equal to 1 by 2 epsilon naught electric field whole square, and E by V is energy density. This is the situation. So you can easily write energy density is 1 by 2 epsilon naught into electric field whole square. You can also remember this formula. This is the basic, this is for your basic understanding. Energy is half CV square Q square by 2C, and energy density 1 by 2 epsilon naught electric field whole square. E is electric field. Okay. Next is the question. A 900 picofarad capacitor is charged by a 100 volt battery. How much electrostatic energy is stored in the capacitor? First case you have to just, first case energy is stored in the form of potential energy, and half CV square, 1 by 2 C is 900 picofarad, 900 into 10 raised to power I think minus 12 pico for minus 12, and half CV square into 100 whole square. This is the energy, and here the value will come out to be approximately, I think value will be 4.5 into 10 raised to power minus 6 joule. Simple. But in next case the capacitor is disconnected from the battery and connected to another 900 picofarad. So in B case you can say, if this battery is disconnected, then the initial condition, this particular, we have 100 volt and capacity is over, and the charge will be plus Q and minus Q. But if you add similar capacity of capacitor with this particular capacitor, then here the new potential will be, let's V dash, and here V dash will be the capacitor, the potential. Why? Because the charge will move from this particular first capacitor to second capacitor until the potential across both capacitors will be same, until potential between both capacitors will get same. The final potential will be V dash and V dash. And according to conservation of charge, this particular positive charge is moving between the plates. If the initial charge is plus Q, the final charge must be plus Q. And capacity is then, according to conservation of charge, you can say that, let's say charge is Q dash, you can say charge is Q dash in this first one and Q dash in second two. Okay, are you able to getting my point? Then let's say C is the capacity, then CV dash plus CV dash, this is the charge Q dash at first, this is Q dash at second, is equal to initial charge, that is Q, then and initial charge, and that particular charge will be, you can say, C into V. C into V. C is the capacity, and V dash plus V dash is equal to V. So 2V dash is equal to V, and V dash is equal to V by 2. Then V dash, the potential across in new position will be V by 2. And if potential is V by 2, then charge will also be Q by 2. If you put this value here, you will get Q dash is equal to Q by 2. The charge stored in this particular condition will be Q by 2. Then the energy of this first, the total energy will be, you can say, half CV square for this and half CV square for this. This is the total energy, and the total energy for second case is half CV dash square plus half CV dash square for second. And now here V by 2 means 50. Now 1 by 2, capacity is same, capacity is 100 into 10 raised to capacity is 900, 900 into 10 raised to power minus 12 into 50 whole square for first one. For second, 1 by 2, 900 into 10 raised to power minus 12, and potential will 50 whole square is equal to, I think, 2.25. value will be, answer will be 2.25 into 10 raised to power minus 6 volt. So initial energy will be 5 into 10 raised to power minus 6, and final 2.25 into 10 raised to power minus 6, and the remaining, where will the intermediate energy go? The energy difference between initial and final, the energy will be, you can say, go in the form of heat, the dissipate in the form of heat. But you should know the potential will change. And charge will also change. The potential is V by 2. You can also directly use the formula Q square by 2C in both the cases, but the basic idea is your understanding. I think, are you able to understand my point? The basic idea is your understanding. So I think this is all about this particular chapter, and the basic is the you can say the continuity of the chapter. For example, you have studied the potential energy initially, but use that concept of potential energy work done in all the other parts. For example, in capacitor, to find the energy stored in a capacitor, you use the concept of potential energy and that particular work done. How to find? I know the derivations are not so important. Some of the derivations are given in your syllabus, but how to achieve that particular answer, to find that final, you can say, the final points, to get the formulas, what are the assumptions, that particular assumptions and everything should be in your mind all the time. That's why if you know all the derivations with assumption, you should know how to use the final formula in your questions. You cannot use all the formulas in all the questions. You can use these particular formulas with assumptions. Okay, are you able to getting my point? So the first question of exercise is, two charges 5 into 10 raised to power minus 8 and minus 3 into 10 raised to power minus 8 are located 16 centimeter apart. At what points on the line joining the two charges electric potential is 0? Electric potential is 0. You can find, we have also, let's say, this is a question, 16 centimeter apart. This is 5 into 10 raised to power minus 8. This is minus 3 into 10 raised to power minus 8. Try to find, let's say, a point C between these two charges. This is total distance is 16. So let's say this is X and let's say this is 16 minus X. Then find the potential at this particular point C. and that particular potential at C will be 0. So from this you will get the formula used is, so for this the potential will be equal to K 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q 5 into 10 raised to power minus 8 divided by R, let's say X, which is equal to due to this V2 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, charge is 3 into 10 raised to power minus 8 divided by 16 minus X. After equating these you will get your answer. After equating these you will get your answer. Are you able to understand my point? You can also check if this is valid for at this point or not. Here nearby this smaller charge, I have also discussed in the I think example 1 or 2 that how to find, there can be 2 points where the net potential can be 0, but never nearby the or you can say the never nearby this particular higher potential, this higher charge. Okay, so you can solve with the help of these formulas the net potential 1 by 4 epsilon naught Q by R. Next is a regular hexagon of side 10 centimeter has a charge of 5 microcoulomb at each of its vertices. Calculate the potential at the center of the hexagon. It's simple. In case of, if you know the hexagon, if this is hexagon, for example this is a, for example this is a regular hexagon and the side is 10 centimeter. You have to find the net potential at center. This angle, this form a equilateral triangle. This is also I think 10 centimeter. This is also 10 centimeter. This is 10 centimeter, and the charges are I think 5 microcoulomb. So from, and all charges are 5 microcoulomb are placed at its vertices. So 5 microcoulomb here, 5 microcoulomb here, 5 microcoulomb here, 5 microcoulomb here, and in all the points you can say all the vertices 5 microcoulomb, and from one vertices the potential will be here. For example 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q 5 microcoulomb by R 10 centimeter, and potential is a scalar quantity. You have to just add the potential of all the potential from all the vertices. Actual add potential is a scalar and all charges are positive. Then the net potential, which you have to just algebraically add all the potentials. So answer will be 6 into 4 pi epsilon naught. Q is I think 5 into 10 raised to power minus 6 divided by R 0.1. So this will be your answer. Answer. Next is two charges 2 microcoulomb and minus 2 microcoulomb are placed at points A and B 6 centimeter apart. Identify the equipotential surface. Equipotential surface, you can say that equipotential surface is always perpendicular to the, this is the 2 microcoulomb and this is minus 2 microcoulomb. Here at one point you will get one potential. For example, if you are going to find the potential here, then let's say 1 centimeter, and this will be 5 centimeter, you will get a one value of potential. So for every point perpendicular to, you can say all the planes perpendicular to this line, all the planes perpendicular to this line have the equipotential surfaces. Okay, are you able to understand my point? And what is the direction of the electric field at every point? At every point the electric field will be from, for this negative toward negative and from positive away. So always 2 microcoulomb to minus 2 microcoulomb. Or direction is from, you can say left hand side to right hand side. Okay. 2.4. A spherical conductor of radius 12 centimeter has a charge 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 7 distributed uniformly on its surface. What is the electric? This question is basically from the basic electrostatics of conductors, and that particular properties are very important for your understanding. I must say you have to learn all the properties by heart with understanding. Just not focus on mugging. All the focus should be on understanding. All the focus should be on understanding. Are you able to getting my point? So what is the electric field inside this sphere? Inside this sphere, according we have find inside this electric field is 0. Just outside this sphere, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught charge, whatever is the charge, q by r square. Here r is the radius at a point 18 centimeter, and for 18 centimeter this sphere will work as a point charge. So 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by 18 centimeter square. You have to convert 18 centimeter into meters. You will get your answer. Next is a parallel plate capacitor with air has a capacitance of 8 picofarad. If the distance between the plates is half, then the dielectric with constant 6 is added. What will be the new capacitance? You know that the capacitance is epsilon naught A by D. This is the initial condition. You can say this is the value is 8. This is epsilon naught A by D is 8. If you reduce the distance and if the distance between the plates is halved and dielectric with constant 6, then you C naught will be K epsilon naught A divided by D by 2. Distance D by 2, then value will come out to be 12 into epsilon naught A by D. Then epsilon naught A by D is 12 into 8. You will get your answer. The simplest questions. 3 capacitors 9 picofarad each are connected in series. Find the total capacitance. And 4, if the capacitors are connected in series, then the total equivalent will be 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2 plus 1 by C3, and here C1 C2 3 is 9 picofarad. You will get your answer. If a 120 supply is connected, what is the potential difference? And the potential is same, then potential is equally divided. You know that in case of series combination, potential will be the total sum of the individual potential across the particular capacitor, and the capacitance is same, then the potential will be same, then is equal to, I think capacitance across each is 120 by 3, and approximately answer will be 40. Equally divided, not all the times this potential is equally divided. This particular potential is divided equally only in one case, when the potentially capacitance is same. If capacitance is not same, it will not be equal. But in this case, the 40 volt. 2.7, 3 capacitors 2 picofarad 3 picofarad are connected in parallel. Find the capacitance. Simply you have to add in case of parallel C1 plus C2 plus C3. The total will be 439 picofarad. Okay. If 100 supply is connected, find the charge on each. Then you have to just multiply. Charge is equal to C into V. So in parallel combination, potential remains same across all the capacitors, and which is equal to the supply. So Q1 is equal to 2 into 100. Q2 is equal to 3 into 100, and Q3 is equal to 4 into 100. You will get your answer. In case of 2.8, a parallel plate capacitor has plate area this and separation this. Find the capacitance. Then capacitance is equal to epsilon naught A by D, and the A is also given and separation is also given. Epsilon naught is 8.85 into 10 raised to power minus 12. You will get your answer. Next is, if it is connected to a 100 volt supply, find the charge. The charge is equal to Q is equal to C into V. So C is this, V is given. You will get your answer. The simple questions. 2.9, a 3 mm thick mica sheet is inserted between the plates of capacitor is given in 2.8. Okay, explain what happens when the voltage supply is remain connected. If the voltage supply remain connected, then charge will change. change. In this case, for example, this question is 2.9. 2.9 in A part, let's say potential is 100 volt, and this is the capacitor. If you insert the dielectric, then the capacity will come out to be 6 into epsilon naught A by D, and final potential across the charge will move until there is the potential equal to the particular same, and that here is 100, then again the in capacitor potential will appear to be 100 volt, then the charge will be simply C into V. So 6 epsilon naught A D into 100. The charge will increase by 6 times. Are you able to understand my point? In B part, after the supply is disconnected, if the supply is disconnected, then you will get the situation like this. This is the capacitor, this is the capacitor, and if supply is disconnected and you have get the charge, charge will be C into epsilon naught A by D, which we have discussed in question number 2.8. This is the value of charge. This will be the value of charge. And after that we have disconnected the supply, then the new capacitance will be, you can say new 6 into C into epsilon naught A divided by D, C dot, and then what will be the potential? Then what will be the new potential? Potential will be Q by C, and the Q will be, in that case, the value of charge at that particular point will be, here the new potential was K into epsilon naught A new capacity, and new charge will be again, you can say that charge will be initially charge was 100, here in second case, according to me, let's try again B part from initial. I hope you are able to understand the first part. In B part, initially when the battery was connected or the supply was there, then C will be the capacity is equal to capacitance epsilon naught A by D, and after that and the charge will be simply 100 is the potential, or you can say V is the potential, and epsilon naught A by D. This is the charge stored in this particular capacitor. And now you inserted the dielectric and remove the supply. The new capacitance will be K, you can say 6 into epsilon naught A by D. C is equal to epsilon naught A by D. This is the new capacitance, but the charge remain same. Then the potential will change. Because if there is no battery or no connections, then the charge will have to remain alongside the capacitor. Then the new potential will be Q by Cn. Q is V epsilon naught A by D divided by C. C is 6 epsilon naught A by D. This will cut each other, and you will get V by 6. So the simple questions, this is the most important, and you can say that you have to understand this particular question 2.9 is very, very important. When the voltage supply remains there, then the charge will increase by the K into Q. Charge will increase the 6 times the initial value. When supply is disconnected, In first case, charge will increase by k times and potential remain same. In second case, potential decreases by 6 times and charge remain same. This is for your conceptual clarity, and how we have reached in this particular answer. You can see this. Okay, are you able to understand my point? A 12 picofarad capacitor is connected to a 50 volt battery. Next question is find the electrostatic energy. Electrostatic energy, simply you have to find half CV square. Always remember how to use the units. If picofarad is there, then you have to just multiply 12 into 10 raised to power minus 12. Always remember that you have to change the units. Without changing the units, you will not get the proper answer, or you can get a wrong answer. So always remember that you have to put the in case of if the question is simple, then always focus on the units. Examiner can play the trick. A 600 picofarad capacitor is charged by a 200 volt supply. It is then disconnected from the supply and connected to another uncharged 600 picofarad capacitor. Find the electrostatic energy. This is the same question which we have discussed in the example. This is, for example, in this last example, I think this is everything is same. Everything is same. Just you can say that the difference is only the, in that particular question, capacitance was 900 picofarad and potential was 100. Here just the change, you have to find the difference. Same steps, follow the same steps, you will get your answer. Okay, so this is from my side. This is all about the chapter about electrostatic potential and capacitance. I hope you are able to understand all the lectures. You can give your feedback in comments. I will try to improve from next time. So that's it from my side. Take care and keep practicing, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye bye.